Good afternoon, everybody. It's very difficult to speak after the lunch. And it's difficult if you have few successful people in front of you whom you followed. And many very, very successful people whom you would like to follow every time. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. There is a temptation to read out of the written text which has been given to me, but then while I was meeting a couple of you before I entered this hall, and I thought, why not share the thought process, the soul of the discussion which we have before we think about the technology or the changes which we would like to have. And so probably you may find sometimes I may use certain lingos which may be in Hindi or maybe in other language which you permit me so that I can communicate what I feel more comfortably rather than following the rituals. Last few weeks, if you see the newspapers and especially the business newspapers, they have been challenging, and you always hear about challenges of GDP. And it's not new that we all discuss whether the GDP will go to 6.8 or it will come down to 5.5, and there are the challenges. And then, the Ukraine-Russia conflict, price of energy, everything comes up. But then I get excited with a small word which we all tried to do in the last 8 years under the vision of Prime Minister Modi, and that was JAM. And I would like to share certain 3 stories with you in the next 10 to 15 minutes which I have been given to speak. When I was appointed as to be the governing council member of CRIS in railways, I was quite excited by any other young entrepreneur or a consultant in your team would be. And I thought I'll just go and suggest some ideas to the board. And then there was a governing council meeting which was going on. How many of you have traveled in railways? आप में से किसी ने कोई travel किया होगा? Overnight journey in reserved compartments? So you would have seen there are 72 berths, then there are 4 toilet blocks on one side, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side, right? So it was very easy, and I thought I should give some presentation which will impress my board, and they will think that यार ये बड़ा समझदार बंदा कोई आया है. And so I went, and very first time I said कि sir हम वो 4 क्यों रखते हैं, खाली रहता है. So why not we do one thing? We remove 2 of these toilet blocks so that we can have additional space, and we can have 8 more berths been created, and you can immediately have a jump of say around 11% of your revenue. Doesn't it sound very good? So it sounded great to me. I gave this idea. One of our senior members in that GC, unfortunately, is not there with us now. He has left for the heavenly abode. ML, Mr. Narayana, and he said, Dr. Lana said, why don't we have a small walk, have a cup of tea and come back? And I was wondering that in such a serious discussion of governing council, can somebody ask me to come out of the room and go for a cup of tea? And this man was determined to be unprofessional. He was determined to be little arrogant. And he asked me one question which I'll ask anybody and everybody of you, and probably if you are uncomfortable, pardon me for that. Do you all visit the restroom in the morning? How many of you? Each of us, right? And how much time do you visit? And he asked me the same question. I said, yes. He asked me 2 more supplementary questions, and I was becoming more and more nervous because, I was not habituated to have this kind of conversation. And he asked me, when do you visit the bathroom, sir, in the morning? When do you go to the loo? I said, generally 6:30 से 8 के बीच में जाते हैं. And then he asked me a supplementary question that, how much time do you take? I said, 5 minutes. So he said, sir, we have 72 passengers. Each of them want to visit the restroom between 6:30 to 8 in the morning. And 72 into 5 minutes comes to 360, right? How much does it come to? He said, sir, if I don't have 4 toilets, so it is 360 divided by 4 comes to 90. So 6:30 to 8 o'clock, they feel comfortable, sir. If I remove 1 toilet, it will be 72 divided by 3, 24 multiplied by 5, 120, and it will spill over to 8:30. People will start knocking. And if I remove 2, it will be 72 divided by 236 into 5, which will be 180, and it will spill over to 9 o'clock. How would you feel, sir, if you travel in my train and I don't allow you to go to the restroom till 9 o'clock? It was not very comfortable conversation, but I understood what he wanted to tell me. It was a wake-up call for me. And the so-called professional, learned, IBM, traveled across the world, everything went for a toss. And he said, sir, before the solutions come, we have to think one thing, compulsions of life and human angle. We have certain compulsions. Technology is made for that compulsion and technology should solve that compulsion. So if we remove the two toilets, what will happen? You come to. And that was my first learning when I entered the field of governance or policy making. So my request to you all who are sitting here and you come from great companies which have given solutions to mankind and changed the way people live, is to think about that whether the solution is human, whether it is meeting with the compulsions, whether it will help us. Then we had a conversation and I'm blessed. We have a fantastic Prime Minister who has a vision and he has seen life like any other common man. He has traveled. And one of the conversation was, क्या गाड़ियाँ platform बदलती है? Have you ever heard about platform changing of the train in the last minute? Have you experienced this any time in your life? And you would have heard that very weird announcement, platform number 4 की गाड़ी 5 पे आएगी. Have you heard this? How many of you, please help me out? I can't see anybody because there is a light. And it's so uncomfortable and just think the apex of the organization, apex of the country, he's concerned about this. He said, you know what happens? Pregnant ladies, senior citizens who need help to travel, how would they run from one platform to another platform? Even if you're young and you don't have any kind of element, yet to go from one platform to another platform with a bag. Have you seen accidents? Have you seen people falling down? You have seen times they have mistake. There may be some fatalic accident also. And there you see that feeling for the common man. हम इसको avoid कर सकते क्या technology लाकर? And then everybody sat down and thought, can this be avoided? Have you ever used My Train app and seen the coach? Where is the coach coming? Now we tell you perfectly where is the coach coming, plus or minus 5 meters. Not only the platform, but also the coach, where will it come? You can go and stand there. You will be just 4 or 5 meters away from your entry gate. Using geospatial technology to the perfection so that a common man, passenger, can use it for his benefit. So technology, first learning which I had and which I wanted to share is from that Dr. Narayana, where he said, थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा compulsions के बारे में. Another was where the Prime Minister wanted us to focus on solutions which can give small solutions, but big happiness to the user. I extend this and say, can this be done in other fields? And this has been done in other fields. I saw the logo of HP and I was very happy to see, and I recollect one of their presentation and this one's done. So we were in task force of IT, I was there and Mohandas Pai were there and we had some interaction. I'm trying to struggle to recollect the name of the village where we went, and they had a very unique case. One of the donors, I think they donated the HP health center which was there. And the young paramedic who was sitting outside, he made a fun of a lady patient who came there. Things went to a little different level. So, you know, people in the government were also involved. What happened is, the patient came in and this boy, in his typical Haryanvi, said, "Ki tai aaj fir aa gaya, pet chota hoga." So what it means is that he said, "Ki you have come again and probably you also have loose motion today also." And the lady was little annoyed. But was the problem loose motions? Answer was yes. The lady was not happy, so the question came up. Investigation happened. आपको कैसे पता? आपने क्यों कहा? हर मंगलवार को आ जाती है पेट छूटने के दौरान. And there are 4-5 ladies who come. And that was true case. But at the same time, somewhere down there in Bangalore, there was a flag being raised that in this particular center, every Tuesday, the dispensation of medical tablets, one particular tablet which is used for loose motions has been issued. And they are the same patients who come. Now, you know, generally we would think that somebody is trying to steal it, they're trying to have a leakage and take it home. But this is tablets of about 2 rupees. Why would somebody come, waste their time and collect this 5-6 tablets of 2 rupees or 10 rupees? If they want to do it, they would do it a larger, bigger one, the costlier ones, the expensive medicines. As I said, the government is very sensitive to human angle and needs. A small team thought that we should do research and understand what is this. And, the investigation started. What is the problem? Why every Tuesday you have loose motion? Then do you eat this, that? Every question was asked, which probably you think. To cut the story short and save everybody's time, the problem was not the eating habit. The problem was not something else. These were middle-aged, upper-aged females. They used to go to some temple on Monday, put little water, take charnamrit and drink it. That particular that place was contaminated, the water was going inside, and they used to have this challenge because of this contamination of the water. So they used to have loose motion. They would pulp one sip tablet and they used to get okay. Now, looks so simple, but the problem was identified. After the problem was identified, very simple thing. The villagers came together, they cleaned the temple. They cleaned it very nicely. Now, every Sunday they clean the temple. Monday, these sisters of ours, mothers of ours, they put water, they take charnamrit, and nothing happens. They're not. A non-medical intervention, a non-medical solution, because of technological intervention, could be identified and happiness could be brought on the face of our fellow citizens. That's the strength. Probably you may or may not relate as businessmen, but you would relate to something. And I'm very proud of that. The UPI transactions which I see has gone up more than 85% to last year. And in this year, we have already done how much? More than 68% of the value which was done last year. That talks about the migration of the economy from cash to cashless, from checks and written papers and instruments to digital economy. Probably we may be seeing someday sooner or later, we may have digital currency. How does it help? It helps because everybody sitting in this room is more or less ethical and wants to pay the taxes in time. I'm sure none of you would like to avoid that. But we had challenges. And digital payments not only secure the payer and the receiver, but also secures the honest taxpayers because the wide network increases. Two, government can understand what are the areas to be focused. This is not a political platform. I don't want to use the political things, but we had heard earlier Prime Minister saying about there were leakages when subsidies, grants, or other benefits were being circulated down there. I'm sure you would be happy to know that 24.8 lakh crore rupees. I repeat, 24.8 lakh crore rupees has been disbursed under direct benefit transfers till date. And what is the medium? Medium is very simple. It's technology. As I said, 3 alphabets, JAM, Jandan bank accounts, Aadhaar linked accounts, and mobile. And now if you see this, how much benefits they get. I'm sure you can understand the pain of the receiver, the beneficiary, who had to knock the doors of the Talati, the development officer, and the gates of this thing. There were chances of non-transparent conversation. There were chances of other malices of the society when somebody is having a power in his hand. Use of technology, AI especially, in having tax discussions, a faceless tax survey. Is it possible to have conversations with the income tax officer without actually meeting him? Will it reduce it? I think probably that is one of the cases which we would like to also discuss with all of you. In the second part or my last part of my conversation with you, I was given 6S by my Prime Minister when we were thinking about technological part. The task force was formed in 2015, February. I was there, Mohandas Pai was there. It was led by Honorable Nitin Gadkari. He was the chairman of the task force. And we asked what is the mandate. The mandate was very simple. It's a simplification of the problems. And 7 points were given: security, safety, scalability, searchability, serviceable, to be seen, and seva. Now, what was this? Is it any solution which comes? Do we have a security in that? And I'm proud as governing council member of CRIS, with all the challenges and our very good neighbors on the western side and the northern side. Have you ever seen that when you travel in railway, somebody else has occupied your seats. Have you ever seen this since the inception of CRIS in 1986? I'm sure none of you would have seen this particular part where the railways have issued tickets to two passengers. Not a single case, at least I don't know. If you have know this kind of case, please make it. That was the focus. So when the solutions were discussed, safety was also discussed. Do you ever seen things which go wrong within our own premises? Scalability. The moment we talked about distribution of free rations in the COVID period, the scale was 80 crore mouths to be fed in that period when there was no mobility, there was no transport, things were going wrong. And the number of kilometers been built in the roads. I think probably all this thing had one element which was called as seva, one simple thing where we had that soul, but it was supported by technology. People like you who came forward, woke us up, told that this is a solution which is available, why don't you take this solution? Technology, whether it is AI, whether it is geospatial, whether it is any other technology, it is needed. And I'm sure each of you will also guide us, tell us in the time to come what all things have to be done. I'm here to share my experiences, also learn from you. One particular part which I would like to see is the days to come. We'll also see the data law. I'm very happy the minister heard, withdraw the bill so that it can be more comprehensive. This particular seminar topic will not be that, but if you all can contribute to that particular part, government is listening, we all would like to listen from you, and especially my team, because we are more concerned with the data part of that. If we can use geospatial technology to not only tell the distance and the time taken to travel from one point to another point, but also tell the weather conditions on the road. And if you're traveling from here to Leh, and if you come to know that Delhi may be 24 degrees Celsius, but as you near Leh, the temperature falls and you have to keep your clothing ready. Will it not be a better life for us to do it? Can we have this kind of solutions? Can we have solutions where we can pass on the medical benefits to the far-flung areas of our country? I think probably that is also to be considered. Lot can be discussed. There are more panelists. I'm here to listen from them, learn from them. I thank all of you to give me this opportunity to speak in front of you. Thank you very much.
In case any of our guests would like to ask a question, I'm sure Mr. Goenka will be more than happy to take a couple of them. So please feel free to raise your hands and we'll pass on a microphone. We don't get a platform like this often to converse with him, and I think today that he's gladly agreed. So I'd like to request all of you to please use this opportunity. May I request you to please raise your hands and we'll pass on a microphone. Yes, sir.
Mr. Vinit, you started your story with this gentleman going for loo. Recently, there was a story in newspaper about when a person came from USA, he used also loo in a platform. So he was asked to pay a GST. Bill was 220 rupees. So are you planning to have GST in coach also?
Can you come out once again?
I am saying you started a story of gentleman using loo. You said cut down to half of the toilets. Same story happened with the person who came from abroad to use this loo facility. Then he was asked to pay the GST. So are you planning to increase the revenue charge GST for loo?
Very tricky question, sir. Your experience and age has put me in a very challenging situation to answer. Revenue generation in a democracy society like us is not for increasing profits. It is to service people. And it is a call of the panel which is there. There is a committee which decides how much revenue GST will be challenged. I'm sure in the last few years we have seen some sweeping of many taxes. Why we have jumped from 128th rank to 64th rank of ease of doing business is because we have subsumed many taxes, sir. And it has become very, very easy. I think GST is one of the best products which we would have seen post-independence. I'm sure the generations to come will enjoy the benefits because it is faceless. It is not double. Two, as we all learn, we are also learning and challenges will be overcome. I hope I have answered it, if not fully, partly, sir. I'm available on social media, so in case anybody needs it, and those who know me, I generally answer each and every question being asked very candidly on the social media handles, and I'm here for a couple of minutes more. You can always ask me questions. If there is any one more question, I'll take it, otherwise, probably, yeah.
Hello. Hi, sir. Hi, Vinit ji. This side, Ashish here. My question is that since from last, the question is this: like, since from last so many years, we are still having the same issues like for while going for a ticketing on a Tatkal thing. So, I am sure you must have taken a lot of major steps on that. But still, can you just brief something on that? What is
Yeah.
your plan?
I think that the speaker is on your side, and so I can only hear the echo. So what I understood is the challenges are same, and we have been hearing the same issues for last many years. Is this the question? Certainly, mankind and humankind has been there for thousands of years. Had there been a permanent solution for any problem, then by now this planet would have been free of entire solutions. This planet faces new challenges as the mankind grows, so we will also find it a democracy. This is not a political platform, so I will not say all the governments before this government never took the efforts. All were sincere, they were taking efforts. Times have changed, but I'm sure you will appreciate the efforts done. And if I can take a liberty from the master of ceremony, today when you travel from here to any part of the country, did you get a chance to travel from here to Vrindavan? So I'm a fan of Krishna and I travel and I should take 4 hours and I will only take 1 hour. So I think you can understand the challenges have been coming up. Earlier I used to go to Gangtok, but land down at Bagdogra and then travel for 4-5 hours. I don't do that. Couple of days back I had an opportunity to visit Pashupati and just landed there. Number 2, I have not seen a single tax inspector entering my premises. Yes, they have given me 143 notices. I have answered them. They are satisfied and I am happy. So challenges are there, we are overcoming. But if you really want a figure, ask those sisters who have got cylinders in their house. So as there are solutions, there are small solutions been provided to them, and that happiness. And I'm particularly very proud, which is non-technical, which should not have been discussed here, but because you asked this question, is that more than a crore toilets have been built across the country. You and I will never understand the happiness of the sister who had to go earlier in open defecation and now she uses this toilet. Sir, I think that is a great solution to the career. And those who don't believe in service and soul and those may not understand this pain and understand only economics, let me tell them. The bill of medicines to be given to those sisters under the free medical system was more because they were getting more diseases, they were ill, there were snake bites, there were scorpion bite, and there were law and order situations of rapes and teasings for these girls who were going there. So we not only saved money in medical expenditures, but also law and order, and the ethical society has come up. So I think solutions which have been given in the last years don't only have soul, but also have solutions which are long-term and change the way we are thinking, sir. I'm proud you're happy of that. You show the passport now outside when you go, you have been well received, and the earlier days, I'm sure those who are of my age would know what used to happen when we used to travel to US earlier days, sir. I'll give you 2 more examples. I'm very excited in this thing. Who comes to your city and works as a labor, sir? Have you ever thought that? कौन आदमी आपके यहाँ पे आके घर में मजदूरी करने की कोशिश करेगा जिसके घर में पेट नहीं भरता है गाँव में? That villager who cannot afford 4 square meal only comes and works in your house as a scavenger or as a maid servant, right? And when they come to your city, you don't give them rations because their ration cards are in that address. We took 70 years, sir, to consider one nation, one ration card. And I think that solution makes me proud that my brother or sister who has to come from his village to do some petty job in Delhi now can have a similar ration card and get the rationing benefits here and have a nutrition. I also feel more proud, sir. You gave me this opportunity to speak, which the organizers are not given. Fortified meals. Sir, I'm sure you come from a very good house. You may not understand the pain of child who does not get food and has been forced to go to school. Fortified free midday meals has increased the number of attendance in the classrooms. When you and I will grow old, we will have better children who will understand more technology than what I and you understand. I don't want to capture this more. Otherwise, I'm being a spokesperson, I'm habituated to have questions. Thank you very much.